Hello everyone, this is Priyanka. Welcome to my channel Priyanka's IT School. Today I'm sharing next tutorial on software testing and the topic is dynamic testing integration testing. So in previous tutorial I have discussed the concept of dynamic testing. Dynamic testing is the second type of software testing, right? Basically software testing categorized into two types, static and dynamic testing. So we are discussing dynamic testing, and dynamic testing is a process where we can simply perform execution on software application and we can simply find out defect from that software application. But to conduct dynamic testing, again we have a four different types to be followed, and these types are basically software testing levels, right? So we have four different levels of software testing. So in last tutorial I have discussed about unit testing. Yes, what is a unit testing? Whenever, this is a complete process where we can focus on a smallest part of application, okay, in isolation, then that process referred as unit testing. So every software application, and for that application, whenever we test a individual module of that application separately or independently, then that process referred as unit testing. So already we have discussed the detail about unit testing. Now in this tutorial, let's focus on integration testing. What is integration testing? Let's see now. So the basic agenda for the today's session, that is all about what is integration testing. We need to understand, we need to focus on integration testing categories, then we need to understand integration testing approaches. So this is very important interview question, right? Explain integration testing approaches. So we should know the detail about these approaches and detail about this entire second level of software testing, that is integration testing. Now, let's understand. So these are the guys four different levels we have, right? Component testing, nothing but unit testing, where we can simply focus on functionality of each and every software application, right? Then integration testing. That is a second level. We need to focus in this tutorial. This all the basics or detail about this integration testing, right? Third level we have, that is the system testing, and yes, of course, the fourth level is nothing but acceptance testing. Now let's understand what is integration testing. So integration testing is a process of combining multiple modules together and test their interface. So here integration testing mostly focus on which part? Yes, it is nothing but we are going to test relationship, or let's say communication between two different system, two different component for software application, right? So what is integration testing? Integration testing is a process of combining multiple module together and test their interface, and main focus of integration testing is test communication relation interface between the modules, and this interface of course can be tested at two different level. Okay, now let's see what are the different levels of integration testing. Because we can integrate two different component together, we can integrate two different system together, and that's the reason guys we have two different levels of integration testing. That is nothing but component integration testing, the first level, and second is system integration testing. Now let's understand what is this component integration testing. Yes, what happens, see, it is a process of combining multiple modules of the same system or software together and test their interface. Example, if you consider e-commerce application, let's say Amazon, then there are different modules we have, right, to test. Example, let's say customer login, product detail, product order, online payment. These are the variety of modules we have for the Amazon side. Now, here, let's say in a unit or component testing, our main focus is testing functionality of these modules, right, individually. But in component integration testing, what we need to do, we need to provide a relationship, right? We need to focus on the relationship, communication and interface between this module, right? So whenever we say interface of the particular, we can say interface between module for a particular software application. So that is nothing but here we can test software component of application or interface between those component or interface between some hardware component of software application. So at component integration testing, all the component of the same software application are test for their interface. Okay, this is the concept of component integration testing. Now at this level we have let's understand some basic question. Okay, when we can go for component integration testing, that is nothing but what is a entry criteria for component integration testing, when we can start. Yes, so here we can see simply, let's say after component testing, component integration testing can be performed by whom? Developer. Yes, I mean, second question is who does component integration testing? So let me clear. Yes, component testing is a responsibility of, or this entire component integration testing is again a responsibility of developer. So yes, at the time of unit testing also, developer will conduct unit testing, and of course at the time of component integration testing, this is the entire process which is done by developer. Okay, and this component integration is usually part of continuous integration process. Okay, so here we can simply combine multiple module together and we can test the relationship between the module. Okay, but this happens at the component integration level. Okay, at component level for a particular system, for a particular software. Now let's talk about system integration testing. What is the concept of system integration testing? Yes, it is a process of combining multiple systems together and test their interface. Here, let's say two different systems and the relation we need to focus. Okay, so let's take an example. Suppose if you are validating a Gmail authentication for Facebook, for Twitter, or many other applications as well, right? Then that is nothing but we are doing system integration testing, because Gmail is a separate application, Facebook is again a separate application. So if you are validating authentication of Facebook through Gmail, then again we are doing system integration here, right? And that's the reason. System integration means what? We can simply combine multiple systems together and we can test relationship between those systems, communication between those systems. Yes. Now let's take another example, banking application with mobile notification. Yes, we can test the banking application with your mobile, right? Then e-commerce application with banking application, because to do payment we require a banking, net banking and something, right? So that is all about, we can say, system integration testing. Yes, so in system integration testing, suppose system X is integrating with system Y, then test should focus on communication between this system, right? We generally here focus that we can say integration between the two different system, right? So now here our main focus is relationship, right? We generally not focus on the functionality which already we can perform at the time of system testing, and at component, and for this component level we can perform we can say functional testing, or we can focus on the functionality of the component at the time of component testing itself. That is nothing but at the time of unit testing itself. So again guys, here as a tester, what is your responsibility? See, generally system integration testing is performed by whom? It is performed by software tester. And whenever you need to perform system integration testing, then that tester, okay, who performing the system integration testing, that tester should understand system architecture, flow, let's say top down, bottom up approach, like this, all the information about the system that tester should know, right? So the question is when we can go for system integration testing, right? So again there is a question, let's say what is the entry criteria for system integration testing? So when we can go? Yes, of course, after system testing only we can test system integration testing, because those two systems should be ready in your system testing level, then and then only we can go for system integration testing. Clear? So two systems should be ready, and then only we can simply integrate both systems and we can test the relation. So guys, what is the concept here at the component system? Yeah, let me tell you component integration, what happened. Let me just explain with a particular data, right? So or let's say in a diagrammatic way. Okay, so what happened at the time of component integration testing? Generally, if we have a one particular software application, so all its component we can simply integrate together, right? And we can test their relation. So this is what the focus, okay, focus is on interface between the system. Okay, this is what we are looking for in this integration. Whenever we are talking about system integration testing, then our main focus is, suppose we have this X system, suppose we have this Y system, then relationship between these two different system, right? This can be system 1 and this can be system 2. So relationship between two different system we can verify. Clear? That is what the overview, right? So when we can go for component integration, whenever each and every module get tested independently, right? This is component number 1, component number 2, component number 3, like this. So suppose for one particular software, when we test each and every component independently, that is after component testing, right? We can go for, yes, component integration testing. This is the concept, right? When we can go for system integration testing, so once system is ready and that system is completely tested in a system testing, then and then only, so all the functional, non-functional, everything is conducted on this system, then and then only we can go for system integration testing. That means minimum 2 systems should be ready and should be tested in a system testing level. Clear? Then only we can go for system integration testing. Now responsibility, who is responsibility to conduct, responsible to conduct component integration? So here developer is responsible. Clear? But here always remember, tester is responsible to do system integration testing. Clear? This is what we have in terms of overview. Now let's see what the important or what the next topic we need to understand. Okay, next is integration testing approaches. So guys, here integration testing can be performed, okay, with this two different level, let's say component or system integration level. So here we need to understand integration testing approaches. Now these approaches are actually development approaches, okay, because both, let's say, developer and tester can follow these approaches while doing component and system integration testing, and that's the reason these approaches are called as integration testing approaches. But by default these approaches are nothing but, originally these are from development approaches. Okay, so we have these 4 different approaches here to understand: bottom up approach, top down approach, critical path first approach, and last one is big bang approach. Now this is a famous interview question. We need to focus on this topic in very clear manner. Okay, let's understand what is meant by bottom up approach. Okay, yes, but before going to understand this approach, let me explain you the basic what you can say fundamental terms which we can use at the time of understanding these approaches. Okay, so let's see. To understand these approaches, very first we should know the development flow. Okay, what is the development flow? See, application may have a variety of module, right? In development, developer teams are responsible to develop this module. Suppose team 1 is working on one particular module. Suppose team 2 is working on another module, like this. Okay, so here some module are called main module, some module are called sub module. So now what is a main module and what is a sub module? See, main module is a module which calls other sub module, okay, and sub module is one who called by main module. So in a simple way, what we can say, let's say main is nothing but a parent module and sub is nothing but a child module. Now let me tell you example for this. Suppose if you are taking any kind of application, we require first what, let's say client registration, right? So whenever any user are there, right, if user is first time reaching or first time using that application, then that user need to do registration process, right? So once user is registered, then and then only user can go for the login process. Agree? So here, which is the sub module, which is the main module? Can I say guys, registration process is a main module. If user is registered, then and then only user can go for login. Right, so login is a particular module which can call by the main module, right? If user is registered, then and then only user can go for the login activity, right? And login is nothing but which is called by registration module. So here login is considered as sub module. Clear? So that is the difference between main and the sub module. Now let's focus on what is bottom up approach. Now here What is bottom up approach, guys? Generally, in bottom-up approach, developer first concentrate on submodule. Now, let me again show you this entire approach in a diagrammatic way. Okay. So, what we have discussed yet, that what is the concept of module, right? Here we have something which is called main module, right? And here we have something which is called submodule. So here what I have discussed in example, let's say registration. Okay, so registration process, it is nothing but a main module through which we can simply call other processes, and here login is nothing but your submodule. Now what happens, see, what is bottom up approach? Okay, so in terms of bottom up approach, here developer first focus on bottom level of module. Okay, in this approach. Now what happens, see, in this approach developer first focus on the bottom module, nothing but sub module. Clear? So suppose I have a variety of sub module here for XYZ application. This is sub 1, this is sub 2, this is sub 3. Okay, and then developer focus on this main module. Clear? This is my main module. Suppose for XYZ application. Now, what is the concept of bottom up? Okay, here developer first focus or concentrate on sub module. These sub module are nothing but what we can say child module, right? So in this integration, what we need to do? First, developer concentrate on the sub, then developer concentrate on the main, then sub module need to integrate with the main module. Clear? So integration performs in this way, right? Sub module need to integrate with main module. Now what happened, and what you can say, with the help of this, right, we can test the relationship between these two different module, and this is a bottom up approach. But suppose in case, let's say main module is under construction, then what, right? If there is a case that sub module is ready, okay, suppose sub 1 is ready, sub 2 is ready, sub 3 is ready, but your main module is under construction, then how integration proceed with this, this interconnection between these two module, how we can test, right? So here what happen, if a main module is under construction, then developer need to develop a temporary program, temporary code, okay, which simply specify functionality of this main module. So instead of actual main feature, developer will provide here a dummy code, and this dummy code generally, okay, we can say temporary code, dummy code, this is referred as driver, which simply have the feature instead of main module. Clear? So how integration proceed? If main is ready, we can simply do like this, okay? But if main is under construction, then in that case, suppose sub 2 is ready but main is now under construction, then developer will simply provide this dummy code in the case of bottom up approach, that dummy code referred as a driver. So here developer need to integrate these two module together. Okay, once the actual main module get ready, then driver get removed from this interconnection and sub get actually integrate with this main module directly. Okay, in this way process continues. So in a bottom up approach, this is the flow, right, from bottom to up. So that's the reason this module or this approach referred as bottom up integration approach. Clear? So developer first focus on the bottom module, bottom level, nothing but sub module, and then they concentrate on the main module. So if then what the third thing, they need to simply integrate sub module with a main module. Suppose main module is under construction, then instead of main functionality, one dummy program, one temporary program written by developer, and with the help of that program we can simply continue our testing task. So here what is the need of driver is just to support, it is used for a support, right, just to continue the particular process. Okay, once main is ready, automatically driver get removed and we can integrate sub 2 with the main module, right? Similarly guys, we have a next approach, that is nothing but top down integration approach, right? What happened in top down integration approach? Let's see. Yeah, before going to understand top down, let me explain you the questions. Okay, what kind of question you will face on this topic? So bottom up, let's see, they will ask you, I mean interviewer will ask you like what is mean by bottom up approach. Then he will ask you, yes, what is a driver? So yes, what is a driver? Driver is a dummy code, okay, or temporary code developed instead of main module, okay, main functionality, and it is developed by whom? So of course driver is always developed by a particular developer. Clear? So we can perform here only the integration task or integration testing task. Here we can test the relationship between these two modules, but all the supported tool, all the supported code get developed and prepared by developer. Okay, so this is all about the bottom up integration testing. Now let's focus on the top down integration testing, or what is this top down integration approach. So guys, in top down, very first developer concentrate on a top module, right? That is nothing but of course your main module. Yes, because the flow is top down, right? So in a main module they simply focus, then they prepared or then they develop the sub module. Then let's see, this is my sub 1, sub 2 and sub 3. Now what they need to do, once main module is ready, sub module is ready, they need to simply integrate main with a sub module and they need to focus on the integration. Clear? If let's say top down is follow at the time of component integration testing, then that is a completely performed by whom? Yes, component integration testing performed by whom? Developer. And that's the reason main and sub 1 get interconnect together and they can simply test the relationship between this module, right? Now what happened in this scenario, suppose main in a top down they first focus on the main, right, main function. Now main module is ready, but suppose any sub module is under construction, then let's say sub 2 is not ready, then what they need to do, right? So at that time again, just for continue this process, developer will prepare here a dummy code and that dummy code referred as stub. Clear? So what happened? Main get integrate with first sub with this first stub, right? Once the actual sub 2 is ready, then and then only stub get removed from this integration and then main get actually interconnect with sub 2. In this fashion guys, process continue in this top down approach. Clear? So driver and stub, these 2 points are important. These are what? These are dummy code, temporary code prepared by whom? Prepared by developer. Clear? And what is the purpose of creation of stub and driver? Just to continue the process. Okay, this is the particular, we can say, concept of test harness. Okay, I'll discuss what is the concept of test harness, but the stub and driver, it is a just a process where we can simply I mean developer prepare some dummy code, some temporary code through which we can continue our testing process, because we should not wait, right? Because development and complete testing, it is all about the time box approach, right? Within a specific time, within a particular budget, we need to develop the particular application, we need to test the particular application, and that's the reason we need to take care on these activities, because every time stub and driver, this process, I mean this can be the costly process, right? So creation of stub and driver is again a costly, and that's the reason in every time we don't need to follow, we don't need to use the stub and driver, but if it is necessary, right, at that time only developer will focus to create the stub and driver. So here is a concept of bottom up and top down approach. Okay, so here there may be a question, yes, what is a stub and what is a top down approach? So what is a stub? Yes, stub is nothing but again a temporary code, temporary program which is developed instead of sub functionality. Clear? And this is the concept of top down approach. So here we can say in this fashion, execution process, okay, development and testing activity process. Now here we need to understand the third important approach, that is nothing but critical path first approach, or this entire concept we can also called as hybrid approach, we can also called as sandwich approach. Okay, why it is so? Because this approach combines features of both approaches, top down and bottom up approach. In this guys, developer and tester design, implement and test critical part of the system first. Now what is the concept or what is the meaning of critical path? Let's see. Critical path means important functionality of application. Clear? So let's see, the developer or particular tester focus on the important functionality of application, right? So here the all core feature or important functionality of application integrate first, and then other module get integrate, okay, based on the need, or let's say based on the customer requirement, right? So here need of stub and driver is used based on the approach, based on the requirement. If it is necessary, then and then only stub driver get used as per the requirement. So what is the critical path first? Here critical or core functionality of the application first get integrated together, and then we focus on the rest of the feature or rest of the module of software application, right? So let's understand, while this integration, let's say critical modules are nothing but which address multiple client requirement, multiple software requirement, which have complex logic, which resides relatively high in a program schedule, right? So all this module we can simply called as critical module, right? So this is all about the hybrid, or let's say what you can say, sandwich approach, or we can say critical path first approach, okay? So as per the client requirement, very first developer team concentrate on what? Main functionality, core feature of the software application, and then they simply perform integration. That's the reason this is a sandwich approach, okay? Now the last important approach, that is Big Bang approach. What is a Big Bang? See, Big Bang name is based on theory in which universe was created in a single huge explosion of infinite energy, right? And we all aware about this concept, right? What is the Big Bang theory? So this is a common approach which is, a non-process, we can say it is an non-process oriented organization. So in this, all modules are integrated once and test together. So that's the reason it is also referred as system approach, okay? So what is a Big Bang? Big Bang is nothing but where we can combine all module together and we can simply test like a complete system, okay? Now if you consider, I mean, advantage of this approach, then guys, of course, in to perform Big Bang, here we can simply combine all module together. So then we don't need any kind of stub and driver, because again there is a limitation, no, whenever you are creating any kind of stub and driver to continue your process, because always remember, stub driver creation process is always high cost process. That's the reason, okay? In a Big Bang, what is the advantage? We don't require any kind of stub and driver to be created, okay, in this approach. But industry doesn't follow this. Why it is so? Because it's having some kind of limitation. This technique is a simple but difficult to debug, okay? First limitation, this technique is a very simple technique but difficult to debug, difficult to check interface, okay? In this, let's say location of defect is also difficult to find, right? This approach can start late as all module need to be integrated, all module need to be ready. That's the reason Big Bang is what? Just combining multiple module together and test their interface. Now here what I need to discuss, no, here I need to explain you the concept of test harness, okay? This is again a famous interview question, okay? That is nothing but what is the concept of test harness? We should know this, test harness, okay? What is test harness? Now let's see. In this test harness, here let's see what you can see, it is a complete process of creation of stub and driver, okay? So whenever you are creating any kind of supportive program, whenever you are using any kind of supportive tool just to continue your process, then that process referred as test harness, okay? So it is a process of creation of stub and driver to continue testing process, okay? In a simple way, test harness is a collection of stub, driver and other supporting tool required for manual and automation execution. Yes, because test harness used in a both way, okay? Let's see, we can use in integration testing as well as we can use in automation testing. What in case of integration testing? In integration testing, driver and stub creation is a process, right? That is a process of what? we can say test harness, right? The process of creation of driver in bottom up, process of creation of stub in top down, this is nothing but test harness process. What happen in automation testing, guys? In automation testing process, executing any kind of test script, record the result of the particular, any kind of test script, then support for debugging. This is what we need. I mean, in this way we need test harness process, and that's the reason there are some tool which can use to perform test harness activity. So these tool are also referred as test harness tool, and these tool are nothing but, let's say, JUnit, NUnit, right? So JUnit based on what? Java language. NUnit based on what? .NET language. Clear? So we have this tool to understand which simply perform test harness activity. So what is a test harness? Yes, any kind of stub, driver, any kind of supported tool, whenever we are using at the time of testing, that process referred as test harness. Now, let's understand the next concept. What is, the two important point we need to discuss, the basis for integration testing and the typical test object. Okay. Now, the basis, that is nothing but the reference document which we can refer at the time of integration testing. So guys, software, system design, then architecture at component and system level we required, right? Because as a developer and as a tester, we should know very well system architecture. Then sequence diagram, workflows we should know, then interface, communication protocol specification, use case templates you should know, yes, external interface definition, yes, all this document and information we can refer at the time of integration testing. So what is a typical object? What we can test at the time of integration testing, it is not concerned only related to the particular module or component or only particular system. Let's see what we can test. So here we can test subsystem and the relationship, here we can test database and the relationship, infrastructure, interfaces, APIs, microservices also we can test at the time of integration testing. So in this way, guys, you should know the detail about integration testing. Now let's discuss some question on this topic. So what is integration testing? It is a process of combining multiple modules together and test their interface. This is integration testing. Then what is the entry criteria for integration testing? Yes, when we can start integration testing? Of course, after completion of component testing, unit testing, at least 2 modules should be ready, right? Minimum 2 modules should be ready to perform integration testing, because in integration we have again 2 categories, that is nothing but component integration and system integration, right? What is exit criteria for integration testing? When we can exit from integration testing? Once the complete software application integration is complete, then with all their module, right, then and then only we can exit from integration testing. Because to perform system integration testing, very first third level should be completed, that is nothing but system testing. Okay, so we'll see the system testing and its detail in a next tutorial. I'll share those details. Right now, what are the integration testing approaches? So we have 4 different approaches: bottom up approach, top down approach, critical path first, hybrid or sandwich approach, and last one is big bang approach. What is driver and stub? Driver and stub both are a temporary program. Driver is used in a bottom up approach instead of main functionality. Stub is used in a top down approach instead of sub functionality, right? So both are important, yes, because these are a temporary program and which are just to perform or just to develop, just to continue testing process, right? And that process also we can refer as test harness. So again, there is a question, what is test harness? Then you should know process of creation of stub and driver, okay, in this integration testing. Again, all the other supported tool which we can use at the time of automation testing execution, then those tools are also referred as test harness tool. Clear? What are the common defect? Yes, now this topic is important. What are the common defect we can identify at the time of integration testing? See, integration can be performed at this 2 level, right? Component and system. So let's discuss the defect which we can find at the time of component as well as at the time of integration, that is system integration. Okay. So typical defect for component integration testing are, let's say, incorrect data, missing function, interface mismatch, let's say incorrect sequencing, right, improper communication between modules, we can say in this way, because all the module related defect we can calculate in this, we can simply understand or we can simply identify at the time of component integration testing. Second is we have, that is system integration testing. So what we can, what kind of defect we can identify, let's see, again, failure in communication between the system, incorrect data, missing data, incorrect messages or structure between the system. Like this we can identify at the time of integration testing. Okay, so you can combinedly you can provide the answer, no problem at all. But these are some famous interview questions which may face you may face on at the time of interview. So this is all about the integration testing, guys. So that's all for this tutorial. Stay tuned for next tutorial. Please to subscribe and like my video. Thanks for watching.